Well, welcome to IVYC 101. My name is Lacey Crone, and I'll be your instructor for the next 6 weeks as we learn about online learning at Ivy Tech. We're going to spend some time as a student in this course. You'll also spend some time working as an instructor in a development shell, and I'll explain that in just a few moments. And then you're going to spend some time being students in your peers' shells. So you're going to get a chance to play 3 different roles over the next 6 weeks. But while we do that, you're going to get the opportunity to learn about policies and procedures as they apply to online learning, as well as how to work within the Blackboard system so that you can be efficient, you can troubleshoot anything that might come up in your class, because there is absolutely nothing perfect about the online environment. Things do happen, and sometimes we need to make quick repairs. And then we're also going to spend some time talking about what it is to teach an online course. Many of you are aware that at Ivy Tech you are given your course already developed, and some people think of that as like, oh, well, then what is left for me to do other than to grade? Well, it's kind of like if you were given a set of PowerPoints, would you just walk into your face-to-face class and drop those down and say, gosh, guys, we have a test next week? You would spend some time going over them and teaching that material. Same thing is true for the online world. We just teach it in a little bit different way. And so you're going to see that as we go through the course. I'm going to model that for you, and you'll have the opportunity then to practice that. So let's take a look at the online environment. If you're not familiar, you can log into Blackboard by going through Campus Connect, or my favorite way is just to go directly to Blackboard. And the address for that is online.ivtech.edu. And when you do that, it sends you to the home page, and you enter your credentials, and these are the same credentials that you use to get into Campus Connect. And this will bring you to your home page with all the courses that you're teaching, courses you're enrolled in, courses you might be a teaching assistant in, any organizations you might belong to. And so I'm going to scroll down, and yours is probably not quite this far down on the page, but once you're logged in, you have a section here, Blackboard IM, Let's Chat. One of the first things you're going to do in session 1 is download Blackboard Instant Messenger. And when you click Get Blackboard IM, you have to be logged into Blackboard, because what's going to happen is it's going to send you to your own personal Blackboard login page. And so you're going to fill out this information, and then what will happen is a program will download to your computer. Once that program is downloaded, it's available under your Start button. Mine happens to be under my menus because I use it all the time, but you may have to go to All Programs, and then you may have to scroll down to the folder Blackboard IM, and then it'll be the one with the rectangular icon to start the program. You don't have to be logged into Blackboard to use Blackboard Instant Messenger, but you do have to be logged in to download it. Okay, so let's take a look at the course. The course is your IVYC 101, whichever section we're running, and it'll say Online Faculty Certification. And the instructor, you'll see my name twice on there because I have 2 different Blackboard accounts that I have registered to this class. And when you first log in, and I'm going to take it out of instructor mode here, you'll see announcements. And if it's the first time and class has just started, you'll see the first day announcement. I like to point out this because it tells you a lot about what's going to happen in the course. And then throughout the course, you're going to see a lot of items with green text. And if it's green text, this is a place where I've had a lot of questions over the course of teaching this class, of which I think I've taught it maybe 8 or 9, 10 times at this point in the last couple of years. But there are questions that have come up that I've provided the answer to and felt like it was a good place just to put that extra information there. So it's a statewide course. Everyone gets the same basic course, but as an instructor, I have the academic freedom to say this is additional information that my students need, and so I'm going to put it in there. For me, I just put it in there as green online teaching notes. You're going to find those throughout the course. I'll also add stuff in other places, such as this announcement that I added to the course yesterday, where one of our instructors here in Sellersburg had come up with a really interesting article, and so I posted it. It was timely, and then asked students to talk about it in the discussion forums. those of you who have been teaching are familiar with the course management panel, the control panel. You won't have that in this class because you're a student. All you're going to have is this one here. And one of the first things that we tell students to do is to start at the Start Here button. And that's where you'll find your syllabus and your calendar. That's the most important information here. And when you click on the syllabus, it's important for accessibility that the syllabus be provided in two ways in an online course. Number one, it needs to be printable. That's for that student who absolutely cannot stand to have it online all the time. They need to have a printed copy right there for themselves to reference. The other thing is we have it available throughout folders underneath the printable version. Now, on these folders, you'll notice I do have a few lines of green text, but in general, when you see the folder icon, you want to click on the title and have all the content inside. So there's my contact information taken directly from my syllabus. The course outline of record, which is available through Campus Connect. It's inside the folder. The required text and materials. Well, the fact that there isn't a required text for this course is there. So all of this information is inside folders. Some people think, well, that's a pain to have to keep clicking, keep clicking, keep clicking. The reason that we drill down like that is so that students can see all the content that's available to them without having to scroll, and it's an issue of accessibility with screen readers, because students with low visual acuity that have to use screen readers have difficulty when the page is just full of scrolling text after text after text. Okay, so that's the syllabus. Let's go back and look at the calendar. Up at the top of the page here, we have our breadcrumb trail. And if I go back just one, that's the same as hitting the back button on the browser, and I look at the calendar. The calendar, again, is available in a printed version as well as a visible version. The printed version, whereas I really don't recommend students print the syllabus, there's no information on there that you really need to access regularly. The calendar is a different story. You do need to access it fairly regularly. So I do recommend printing the calendar, and that's available. And then also I have the calendar online. Let's go back to the announcements page where we start from, and then attending class happens in class sessions. And everything in Blackboard, when we design a course, it's just top to bottom. We start in session 1, and I tell students to start at the top. Let's scroll down. You're going to read the session overview, the objectives and the content. Then we get to learning activities. You'll notice there's learning activities and assignments and assessments. Learning activities are the things you want to do before you attempt the assignments. In this particular session, there are 2 roles that you're going to play. You're a participant in this class, and you're going to play the role of an instructor in your development shell. Under the participant role activities, we have a discussion forum. We have some lovely readings of policy, information on downloading Blackboard Instant Messages, and how you can update the My Places area in Blackboard. When we go back to your instructor role activities, on the front of the folder I put on there that your instructor role activities will be completed in your development shell. This can be found under the My Blackboard 9.1 tab under Courses You Are Teaching. So what are we going to do as an instructor? We're going to update our instructor profile, and here's the information on how to do that. But how do I find that information? Find my development shell. If we go back out to Blackboard, to your main page, you have classes that you are taking and classes that you are teaching. Under classes you are teaching, you will see another IVYC 101 course that will say Development Shell for and your name. You'll be listed as the instructor, as will I. And then when you go into that course, you will see that there's a welcome message, and you're directed to go to your instructor button to do that. Now here you'll see that there is the basic statewide template for instructors. This is all that's required by policy. However, the research is very, very clear that in online learning, students need to feel connected to their instructors. So if you fill out this information, you are in alignment with policy. However, you're not helping your student make a connection to you and make a connection to the course. Let's go back and look at my instructor profile. My instructor profile was put together with the instructions that are in the folder for this. I have a picture that thank you Glamour Shots. They've taken out all the wrinkles and the blemishes. I have comprehensive information on my contact information. Here is our distance ed support person. I have a biography. That way you know, I should say, I guess it's an autobiography since I wrote it, but that way you know a little bit about who I am, what my background is, why I'm qualified to teach the course. It gives you a little bit of information about my hobbies, my goals, and it also mentions a little bit about my family and really of my dog and my son, and there's some more pictures about us. The reason that it's important to have a robust instructor profile is that the students don't have that time to chat with you before or after school, after class. They don't have that time to get to see your mannerisms, to get to talk to you, to get to know you really, not up front. And it's difficult for them to make that connection. I'm an online learner myself. I'm working on my PhD online, and I can tell you that there's just a slight better sense of calm when my instructor has a picture up there and introduces themselves well, as opposed to just, hi, my name is Dr. So-and-so and I'm your instructor. So it's, in the online environment, we need to be a little more conscious of how we can reach out to our students so that they realize I'm not just some person that Ivy Tech found sitting in Walmart needing a job, but rather that I'm credentialed, I'm experienced, and that I'm serious about what I'm doing. If you go out and read the Facebook page for Ivy Tech, every once in a while you'll see students make comments about instructors who don't care, they don't participate, they don't interact with their students. And while that's becoming rare, more and more rare, I do see that when I go into some courses. I realize there's not any announcements, there's no picture, there's no information that says that this person is anybody who should be here teaching the course. And students need to understand that is really important, and that Ivy Tech does take the time to train you. And I know when I speak to the IVYC 120 courses, I explain to students, I said, you know, your instructor in an online course sat in class for 6 weeks not getting paid because this is what they wanted to do, and so they honed those skills so that they had the opportunity to spend time with you in the online environment. So it's really important that you provide that information to them. So back to class sessions. As you go down through here, that's under the instructional activities. I do provide under assignments and assessments a detailed list of everything that's due, when it's due, and how many points it's worth. I think that's really important for you so that you understand what's expected of you each session. There is a quiz with information on that and a little bit telling you about what's coming up. Well, that's pretty much all I have for the introduction to the course. I look forward to working with you. Let me again share my contact information with you. There's my email address. It's L. Crone. I've been around for a while, so I don't have any numbers after my name. My Blackboard IM title is also the same. That ID is L. Crone. I do have a direct line in my office. Feel free to call it anytime. And then I also provide a phone number for my students. I think that's a personal decision. I provide it to you because I know that you're not always going to be working on this during the daytime when I'm in my office. I know that you'll respect it, and that if you contact me, it's because it's something that's pressing at the time, and I'm here for you. I'm an adjunct instructor for this course. I have a full-time staff position with Ivy Tech, so it's one of those things where sometimes I might be buried in meetings, or I might not even be in the office. So I realize that sometimes I'm not as easy to get a hold of, and that's why I provide that cell phone. I do text. Feel free to send me a text if you've got a question. So, welcome to class.